If you've ever been to Disney World and you've seen that part of the park where It's a Small World is and realize that the chairs are also too small and you start standing up and going, I don't think any of these puppets are real. I don't think any of this is real. I think I'm the only real man in here. Then you'll love some of our new segments where we replace somebody in a movie with a Muppet, and you'll love the rest of the show where I get into the real truth and consequence of running your mouth and what it's like to come across Fozzie Bear himself, the Judas in my mind, the Chris Jericho effect, baby. This week on Weekend at Effy's, it's magic. So the coffee maker, it's not coming tonight. We're not getting it.
You called that earlier.
Yeah. It really, and it's not like it's fancy or like we can't make coffee, but like this is why I think I might have some sort of attention disorder.
Yeah.
Because I really couldn't get anything done today until that coffee maker got here.
Yeah.
I really was like not about, and maybe that's me making a personal choice, but I'm sort of sitting there going like, once this coffee maker gets here, next phase.
I also gave you the pacifier of a 3-part, 3-hour Netflix documentary.
Yeah. And I want to say I needed to see how it ended. It kept getting messier.
Yeah.
The Tupelo Kings, they're messy.
I've been out on Netflix documentaries specifically because of the bullshit related to their other documentary, Wild Wild Country, where hyper compelling, super interesting.
Where was the Tiger King?
The Tiger. I don't think this was them. I think that was Duplass Brothers as well, but they had like a 5 documentary deal or something like that.
Oh.
And I think since they've left, Netflix has gotten at least this one I can say was a little bit more.
Are you saying fact checking's back?
I'm saying that this one, from what I know about the story, was a little bit more factual than some of the other shit.
And some of the other things.
Yeah.
But
still like very stylistically put together and well made.
They're saying documentaries now you can just lie. They're saying it's fine. They're saying in the future where truth is not anything. Did you ever see the Never Stop, Never Stopping?
100%.
Connor for real?
100%. I almost bought a Super Yaki Connor for real shirt that just says gay rights.
Yeah, as it should. Okay, and that's the thing too. How could Connor for real not be real? So that's a documentary. 3 greatest music documentaries of all time is Spinal Tap, Dewey Cox, Never Stop, Never Stopping. That's where I stand.
Who do you replace in Dewey Cox?
In Dewey Cox?
My first natural inclination is Don Cheadle, but I feel like that's not.
That's not Don Cheadle, is it?
In Dewey Cox?
No,
it's not Don Cheadle.
It's Tim. It's Tim.
Motherfucker.
It's Tim
God
Meadows. Tim Meadows. I almost called him Tim Flowers. But you could replace Don Cheadle in Iron Man with
what? I'm gonna dig myself out of this hole. What music biopic was Don Cheadle in?
Now, I'm not digging myself in another hole because I was going to guess the Ray Charles one with Jamie Foxx. Like, I thought he played one of the A&R reps.
Okay. Maybe we leave even funny music biopics alone with our Muppet game.
Spinal Tap, Dewey Cox, Never Stop, Never Stopping. You replace Tim Meadows. You were correct in who to replace.
Okay.
And they do look similar in a lot of ways.
Okay.
Not just because of their skin tone. Here's what I'm saying. You replace him. Ready for it? Dr. Teeth from the band. Dr. Teeth from the Muppets band. He's like, hey, you don't want none of this, Dewey Cox.
Okay. This is not what I'm thinking of, but this is what I'm going to pull. The Rat Pack TV movie where he was Sammy Davis Jr.
Perfect. That makes sense as a music movie, and it makes sense why you would mix the two, actually. Makes perfect sense. So number one, I need to just, and here's the thing. I feel more like my tongue is not restricted anymore. I want to up front on the show say GCW at the Hammerstein Ballroom. Effy versus Allie is confirmed as a number 1 contenders match, setting up the main event of that night, the World Championship match. One of us will face Mance Warner. Possibly 2 of us will face Mance Warner. I don't know how this is going to roll. It's wrestling. You can't predict it. It's a crazy fucking thing to be a part of your life. And I am ready for anything that they throw at me. And I say that they've thrown everything at me. And I look at the year that I've had, at the amount of Hall of Famers, looking to be mentioned alongside Effy. As I've said before, let me be a little bit of a diva. How much is Effy's background going to cost tonight? Every night of my fucking job is doing a photo shoot, and the background of what's around, near, next to, in front of, interacting with Effy is always still focused on Effy. Hello, how are you? No, I do not have any plans for this weekend. No, I will not be running in on any events. I don't need to run in on other people's events. I have my own events upcoming. You can see me at GCW in Seattle on the 28th. And on the 31st, I will be at the Mecca, Ridgefield Park, New Jersey, for New Year's Eve.
Are you saying that if wrestling is the Timothy Chalamet, Kylie Jenner paparazzi photo, that you are in fact Hideo Kojima?
Yes, okay. I'm always ever present, and I'm confusing the shit out of you, but they are always drawn to meet me in my chamber. I was very jealous of the Raka Raka twins, who of course did the what's the Talk to me. Talk to me. Who did Talk to Me, who got to meet with Hideo Kojima right after we left Japan. Like, they continued their tour of Japan.
Oh, baby.
Oh, okay. I forgot where we were completely. I was off making a point.
What were you? Okay.
Hideo Kojima.
So you're talking about having everything thrown at you, though, as far as this Hammerstein. Like, anything could happen. What if they replace Vance Warner with a Muppet?
Oh, no. Is it the Snuffleupagus?
Yeah,
Do we pull the Snuffleupagus out in this card?
Yeah. It would not be the first time that you've had a children's TV character appear on one of your matches. So I'm saying there is precedent for this. And maybe our Muppet game is just a lead up to what's about to happen.
Are you familiar with Mr. Blobby?
No.
He's a British thing that they have. And this weekend, Thunder Rosa appeared at one of the wrestling shows over there. I know
Mr. Blobby. Yeah.
Sang is it the Pews? It's not the Pogues.
The Pogues?
Yeah, what's that Christmas song? It's like a real British Christmas song. It's a Christmas song. It doesn't matter.
British.
She sang it with Mr. Blobby this weekend. Shout out Thunder Rosa.
Okay.
Fairy Tale of New York, maybe? Fairy Tale of something? It doesn't matter. I don't care. I lost all interest in what I was saying, and Mr. Blobby's not a Muppet. And that's what I got to say.
Okay.
They can't replace Vance Warner anymore with anything but himself. We are both the manifestation of dark energies, and I'm going to use my dark energies for good. Now, here's what I want to go back to. Here's what I want to clarify on. This Mercury retrograde.
Mm-hmm.
The timing to me, if I'm correct, is in fact hilarious.
Yes.
So when to you did this Mercury retrograde begin?
Okay, let me pull up the official date. Okay, so we have to, for those of you that do not listen to the astrological forecast and don't generally know how Mercury retrogrades work, what it will do is Mercury will go forward, which is what we call pre-shadow. It will stop. It will go backwards, which is what we call the retrograde. And it'll go back to the point. So we mark that shadow period by where it is starting. So the first time you're getting hit with something is the beginning. You have the retrograde. And now we're in that post everything after. We can actually do some cleanup on things.
Okay.
So the very beginning of, let's see, it was November 7th is when pre-shadow started.
Okay.
The actual retrograde started on the 26th. And then we finished on the 15th.
Yeah. So let me just put this in layman's terms. On the 26th, the beginning of my scandal began when there was a particular situation that was blamed on me. Okay. And then on the 15th, I landed back in Atlanta after being attacked by AEW superstar Chris Jericho in the UCC in Los Angeles, and things completed in that news cycle.
And the podcast that started these things, the TikTok clip, was put out a couple days after the pre-shadow started, was what we figured out.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just want to say, Ha ha planets, ha ha hilarious. Welcome back to Weekend at Effys. We have all the hot takes here. I am out of my retrograde. I am a dangerous soldier of the sky and infinite limits of space. There are billions of galaxies. There is only one with Effy. Welcome to planet Earth. Welcome to Atlanta, Georgia. And please sign up behind Chris Jericho to be a part of the story. You can all get interviewed on the Memorial DVD, and everyone can say that they got to touch me from afar. Let all the children come up and learn. They can see the holes in my hands and that I live to this day. I'm losing my mind, Peter. This shit just keeps happening over and over and over and over. And I'm out here seemingly, I can't say I'm minding my business. I'm not minding my business. But I am just like kind of walking around, Johnny Appleseeding, hot take gossip. Wherever I fall, there's little seeds, I'm throwing them, and there's little apple trees springing up.
You're the seed bearer.
And then they're yelling at me that there's trees in their yard, and I'm going, honey, all I did was drop some seeds. Your earth was growing the plant. Does it make any sense? Mm-hmm. So that's where I'm at today. I feel very comfortable about the product GCW is putting out. I feel very excited about the show upcoming for GCW. I feel very excited about the card at Hammerstein, and I'm very excited we're not on like a TV pay-per-view thing anymore. So we sort of have free reign to do whatever we want with the stream. It's going to be fucking crazy. And, I can guarantee I'm not going to let Chris Jericho in on this one. That's a guarantee. I have to guarantee that. Here's, I should probably go in order of the weekend, right? And not just jump right into the scandals, right?
True. Do you want to do questions first?
We have to do questions because my mom messaged in this week, and we do have a really scandalous thing going on. So let's get to questions before I go off my rocker here.
What is the scandalous thing we have going on?
My mom confirming that I lied about my first TV appearance.
Oh, this is true. Okay, so we do have a comment on Patreon.
Yes.
Which Patreon right now?
Okay, this is huge. Listen, I made a video. Now, we think TikTok's dying, so we're moving everything to Instagram. So follow Weekend at Effys on Instagram first and foremost. Second off, new Patreon subscribers, okay? That's what I'm focusing on right now. BOB50, like Bebop, but I call him Bob 50. 50% off your first month, any tier of our Patreon. Put the code in. Now, if you want to do a whole year and save money, you're already saving some money. We added more to the savings. We upped it to 20% off if you use the code CRAN20, CRAN20. All you have to do is go to patreon.com/weekendateffys or go to weekendateffys.com. Okay? There's a place right there. Oh, we're on the Patreon. You're already there. CRAN20 for the yearly, Bob 50 for the monthly. Please join it. Get the mini-sodes and have the ability to ask questions. Peter, do me a favor here. Remind me before the end of the show to repeat that I just said.
Absolutely.
And, maybe we'll, one thing we're deciding right now is, if we don't make $42 million from our Patreon, is AI going to be inevitable? Okay. We're not saying yes or no, we know, we're not saying the person talking to you now is just a figment of what I was, or that I've been replaced by a robot, or that you can just insert letters, words, phrases, and have them come out in my impassioned voice. No, we're not answering that. But what we're saying is very much less likely if people are signed up to the Patreon. So use it. Use the holiday spirit. 50% off Bob 50 of your first month. CRAN20 for 20% off a whole year. New subscribers, come on in. Get all the bonus content, mini-sodes, early access, dog content, fun, road life, forehead kisses if I see you in person. I don't know. Why not?
Merch discounts.
Merch discounts. Yeah. I see that come through all the time. People get the merch discount on there. It can pay for itself if you buy enough merch. So figure out where you want to spend it. And spend it with Effy, spend it with Peter, spend it with Cran, Lucifer, and Bebop on the Patreon. We have questions from only our Patreon listeners, and one of them is my mom. She does pay for the Patreon. I'm never ashamed of admitting that. It's wonderful to have a supportive parent in your life. It's beautiful that they take me as I am, and I'm sorry for some of the things you have to hear on here, but that's what you get when you hear from me weekly.
So this is a follow-up to last week's episode. It snowed in 1998 at Granny's in North Carolina for Christmas.
Boom.
So that would have been your first snow.
8 years old, first Christmas snow. That was a white Christmas. 1998. That would have been in Mooresville, North Carolina. If you need a good furniture deal, go see Gibson Brothers Furniture there in Mooresville. My uncle and dad are still there. Don't make my uncle walk too much. He just had his knee replaced, and he'll just keep getting up and making you plates of turkey. So he's really excited that I was there to eat.
You detailed that out correctly.
What do you mean?
What he was ignoring in his health.
I hope I detailed it out, but yeah, his
sure
knee
you
exploded
did.
and was
Yeah.
down the skin. It was very... He's a wild child.
Okay, so this is
Thank
your
you,
mom's
Mom.
correction
Yes.
from last week. The first time that you were on TV was in 1992, the star of an Inlet Square Mall commercial for Easter in your little white suit.
Yes, I was the Easter baby in the mall commercial in 1992. I am, in fact, an industry plant. My mother is revealing all. I've been on television since I was a wee child. You know, it's always been my dream to be in entertainment. And, you know, it was a role that a lot of people were up for. Little baby in a white suit for Easter. I got it. I got the role. I was on TV. And I didn't mean to knowingly mislead our listeners. I didn't mean to knowingly send them on a goose chase or brag to people. They knew the truth about my first TV appearance when it was not true. And I was corrected. So thank you to my mom for sending that in. And I vaguely do remember, Hollywood back then. It was a different time. And, all the earnings were aptly distributed in helping me get a good college education. So just know it went to the right place and that I've always been a star.
Why does pubic hair grow like it's angry?
So it's ready for battle?
Is that your answer?
Yeah.
Okay. No, it's because it's crotchety.
Okay, but it does have to go through battle.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like it's got a purpose.
Yeah.
Is that... We're not talking about this anymore, are we?
Thank you, Donovan, for the delightful
Donovan!
comment. This is from Arlen.
Arlen.
A Reddit thread turned me onto a podcast called What Went Wrong. It's a behind the scenes of movies and what it took for them to get made. Seeing how educated in the art of film you guys are, I love calling my sickness education.
We'll have to watch a film.
I'd love to hear a monthly Patreon exclusive of you guys talking about one of your favorite films and what it took to get made and why you like it. I'd pay money for that. I mean, I am now, but I'd pay them too.
I don't want to rip their bit off. And I'll be honest, sometimes that stuff is... I like listening to that podcast. I think it's a very fun podcast. I don't want to ever do research. I just want to tell people, like, I'm not... Let me tell you about this podcast that you're listening to right now. There's such a rich, fervent amount of topics that we discuss. There's so much information between both of our minds. The most research is you over there on Google or me yelling at Siri in the middle of the episode. I can't sit around and research. I love learning. I think information should be free for the world to gain. And I like watching things and taking things in. I don't ever really need to know how anything works. Mostly I look up how stuff works about snacks. Like I want to know how they make zebra cakes. They are perfect every time. And this time of year, they also have the gingerbread men. And it's delicious gingerbread that Little Debbie's bringing us.
Yeah.
I'd like to see how those are made.
That's also a great podcast. How did this
get made?
No. How does stuff get made?
How does stuff get made?
Yes.
How stuff wants
How
to
stuff
be.
gets made.
How stuff feels about being made.
Yeah.
And I would answer, not great. That's me as Saran Wrap. I'll be doing the voice of Saran Wrap in the How Does It Feel to Get Made podcast, where they discuss making me Saran Wrap.
I think we need to get back to doing watch-alongs.
Yeah, we do need to get back to watch-alongs. With the Fast series winding down right now.
I think our next one we need to do... I was thinking of doing it over the retrograde, but maybe this is like a good post-shadow retrograde
The 3 Hobbit films.
We need to do the movie that was shot next to my the old house.
Oh, yeah. It's been on the board. And
Yeah.
Did you ever understand what I wrote on the board?
No.
Well, you wrote, what does this remind you of?
Yeah.
And I wrote Yogi Bear at the camp.
Okay.
Because he would always look on the public community board to find out where the picnics were so he could go rob the picnics. And it felt like the community board that Yogi would be checking before he eats a feast. So it reminds me of Yogi Bear at camp. That's why I wrote that, and that's what it means. Did you think it was just nonsense, Peter?
I did.
Yeah, well, a lot of things I say are nonsense. And legally, I just want to remind everyone again. Now, this is
Everything you do say is nonsense.
this is
legally?
from 2020, but I was told by a detective, a Florida sheriff's detective, that anything I say legally, I cannot be. It's not held to me as a person because I'm performing. This is a performance. This is a character. I'm doing a bit right now. And as long as I hold steady to that, nothing I say here can technically be treated in any way like true libel or slander, much like, your Jim Cornette's.
They call that the old Alex Jones defense.
Well, it didn't work for him. And unlike, some sections of wrestling, we don't believe that there are crisis actors within the scope here. But that's something my character would say. That's like, it's built into the character. So just know, like, whatever you hear here, it's probably true or not true or just from a character. And the questions you're hearing are from real people. Now, I will say we've had people denying that you exist, Peter. And I want to second that. You don't exist. This is just me talking to an AI and pretending I have people who want to hear me spout my boring bullshit.
Jesus did deny Peter 3 times. He was making a pass at him.
What did he deny him?
Slapped his hand away.
Down. Listen, if you're walking around with your boys and they're in those long tunics and they're stacked out in the back like a hockey player, what I'm supposed to do? Ignore that? That thing's pouting out like lips. That thing needs a little tang. Okay? So don't tell me that, well, Jesus has the right to deny it, but I'm not giving Peter any sinful blame. I'll tell you that here, okay? Me and my boys knew what we were doing when we put on the tunics. That's what I'm saying. And didn't he give Judas a little tongue kiss or something?
Yeah.
A little.
Yeah, they figured out it was like $350 he betrayed him for.
Okay, like that's enough for the digital PS5. I saw somebody DoorDash one of those the other day.
Maybe not with tax included.
Okay, but who's paying taxes? You do tax-free weekend. Give unto Caesar what is his until tax-free weekend, back to school. Save it up. Maybe you put it into Doge and get a little return on your investment. Maybe that's how you get enough for the PS5. Because you're going to have a lot of free time if you're not having to follow Jesus around anymore. I feel like that fills your schedule for like a minute. Those guys were a little lost about what to do. No wonder they wrote so many books. They're just like, what else do you have going on? You've been just following this guy for a long time? Come on. That's like it's like Jerry Garcia died. And those guys are like, what the fuck do we do, man? And it turns out just like the same thing without him. And John Mayer's there. So check out The Grateful Dead, The Dead and Company. Another one just died too. It's rough. It's rough out there. Be a disciple for yourself. That's what I got to say. Any more questions, Peter?
Yeah. This is from Rob. Does Petár ever get jealous that he never gets attacked by past their prime wrestlers at work?
Yeah. What's that feel like not getting physically assaulted at your place of business?
I think that would have been inappropriate at my old job, and I think it would probably be even more inappropriate at my new job.
Do you think it's appropriate for me?
I mean,
to be fair, I consent
appropriate,
to all
no. Inevitable, yes.
Inevitable is a yes. We will get to those talking points. I will be revealing the real story of This Weekend with Chris Jericho on the podcast this week. You can look forward to that. And what was the last question?
We have 2 more.
Hidalgo with Viggo Mortensen.
Hidalgo?
Yeah, did you ever see that?
Yeah, I saw it in the theaters.
It was really boring.
Way too close to the screen.
Did you ask me what the most boring movie is?
No.
Oh.
No.
I thought that's...
Is it better if you replace it with a Muppet?
I think if you replace the horse with possibly Fozzie Bear.
Okay.
Oh, God.
I think there's room in the Marvel Cinematic Universe for 1 cast member change with a Muppet, but no more than that. You can't do individual movies. So
Just
I don't know who
change?
it is, but maybe we have it by the end of the episode.
I know what it is, but I don't know if I should say it.
Okay. Well, if you could assign video game characters to GCW wrestlers, who would they be and why? Love you both, Kylie.
I hope he takes some offense to this. Matthew Justice is Trevor from GTA 6. I would say
He's a sweet boy from like the 2 times I've met him.
He's a very sweet boy. He's nuts. And he proved that this weekend against Dr. Redacted again. And he proved that against Jimmy Lloyd Friday night. Jimmy Lloyd to me reads as kind of Bomberman.
Okay. Okay.
Alley Catch to me, you know, if she was here and nice to me, I would say like Lara Croft from Tomb Raider or something. But she's not here and she's not nice to me. So she gets to be the giant woman from Resident Evil. Okay, so there's your game character. I'm trying to think of video game characters, you know, like Nick Cage might be Conker from Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Okay.
That to me reads like Chaos
Yeah.
Reigns.
Yeah.
Mance Warner would be Giancarlo Esposito from that Far Cry one.
Okay.
Because he's just a piece of fucking shit. And I would be Mario from Super Mario Brothers.
Okay.
Because like I had a mustache.
Yeah.
And I love mushrooms.
Yeah.
Shiitake.
Yeah.
Button.
Yeah.
What a lion's
Do you
mane.
remember last week when I said I think I'd want to be a Ralph, but I'm a Fozzie?
Yeah.
I think you want to be a Mario, but you're a Waluigi?
We're all Luigi. Okay. That's all I got to say about that. I'm a little Waluigi. A Waluigi. But I'm also a little Wario.
Yeah.
Wario. Wario is a little more here.
We contain multitudes.
Because Wario farts, but Waluigi is like definitely bad at cards and robs you afterwards. Like sneaks in your wallet after you've fallen asleep and taking all his money at poker. I only took what's mine.
Speedball is Johnny Cage.
Whoa, okay. That's fun. Let's keep thinking here. I think you do I don't know, Megan Bain would have to be like who's the sickest female? She like Samus Aran because she's just like unbelievable. Yeah. Megan Bain, Samus Aran. Joey Janela has to be somebody really cool. I think he's kind of Nathan Drake where he's like always silly, but then can also jump across like a cave building and operate a pistol. I'm pretty sure. That's the vibe I get from that. Violence is Forever. We have to do like a duo team for that. Are they the ice climbers from that game from Super Smash Brothers?
Maybe
not. I just wanted to call them that.
Is there a famous like Donkey Kong team up?
I don't know, but Lanky Kong was awesome because I think Lanky Kong was actually an orangutan. Because he had the But then there was
what's the game where you're two like tough cops that's like really intense?
Is that a game?
Yeah.
Time Crisis?
It's like Kane and Lynch.
Oh yeah, that's probably them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's harsh.
Like super
Who's Gringo
hardcore.
Loco? How do we make Gringo Loco? He would have to be like the first one that comes to mind is Beautiful Joe.
Okay.
You remember that game?
Yeah.
Where he like can do all this like slow-mo bullet flips, but
Yeah.
it's like side scroller,
Yeah.
but he's like super
Yeah.
anime-y. Yeah, I'm getting that. I think that's cool. Didn't they make 3 of them? They did.
They
I
did
know
make
that.
3 of them.
We want to get them for GameCube, but they're very expensive.
You know the little Psychonaut guy?
Oh yeah.
That's Charlie Tiger.
Oh my gosh. With the okay, I can feel it. I could see it. Jordan Oliver has to be somebody. Who's Cole Radrick? I think Cole and Alec have to be teamed and linked.
I mean,
I think it's Jack and Daxter.
it doesn't matter who Cole would be. He would figure out how to get into the SpongeBob video game.
Oh yeah, SpongeBob and Patrick vibes. What was Ratchet and Clank is a thing, right?
That could be a good Violence is Forever, actually.
Yeah.
I think that's the one I was trying to think of.
That's good. That's good. I like a Jack and Daxter. I get Alec Price Daxter vibes. I don't know if I like Cole Radrick maybe is not fully Jack because he's more heartfelt. Jack sort of can shoot aliens and not feel anything, and I think he has feeling in his heart.
Wait, who is it that you just said that we didn't have one for? Sorry.
Jordan Oliver?
Jordan Oliver is Leon from Resident Evil.
Whoa, with that new haircut?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like he's like soft launching that haircut in a few Instagram stories, but I need that first like pick back, knee healed, great shape, shining, little slut cut shirt. I can't speak right now. Slut cut shirt. Slut.
Right.
She sells seashells by the seashore. Is that all our questions for the week? Let's get them.
I have a friend who writes music about sewing machines.
Okay. What? It seems limited.
He's a singer-songwriter.
Because it's a
Or
machine.
so it seems.
Or so it seems. Get out of here. Get out
That
of
was
here.
next level, Heather. Thank you.
We're thinking through things now. These are multitudes.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you to our Patreon listeners. weekendateffys.com. Bob 50% off first month. Cran 20% off a year. Jump in there.
Yes, that's you, baby.
Okay. And Patreon has said in an email, if I die on a ladder match, you don't get a refund, but it will go directly to cover whatever Peter wants it to go to, because I don't have access to that money anymore. So just think about that. Think about Peter. Okay. Think about what that means. What's Peter going to do when I take the fall? Okay. We don't know. You still won't watch The Wrestler with me. What's up with that?
You haven't asked me to watch it in a long time. You've mostly been asking me to watch the last.
Do you want to watch Polar Express?
3 hours of Avatar and Polar Express.
Yeah, we have to finish Avatar, Polar Express, and then The Wrestler. Now, I got to talk in Hawaii to Colt Cabana a little about when Nicolas Cage was still poking his head around, looking to do The Wrestler. He was supposed to take that role before Mickey Rourke. So he said he came to SmackDown when Colt Cabana was there. Very cool to hear. We may have discussed that. I don't know. I went to the West Coast again. I also flew through Portland again. 2 weeks in a row I flew through Portland. Now, I went directly to Portland last week, but this week I was coming home through Portland. And honestly, I slept on both flights, so I can't really complain about the extra time. But I will say this, Christmas travelers, number one, I already have to take worse flights because you've really ruined the economy of flights around this time of year. I need you guys to Google one or two things so that you're slightly prepared to be at an airport. The lines are not longer because there's that many more people. It's that the people that are there in this time have no clue what's going on. Watching people try to bring full check bag size suitcases through TSA and just not listening to anyone until they get there and then being mad. It's very confusing. Either way, I went to Arizona first, and I have wrestled. We've discussed this building probably multiple times on here. The Nile Theater in Mesa, Arizona. Mm-hmm. One time I wrestled there for Party Hard, and Of Mice and Men was playing downstairs, is what I'll say. Now, there was somebody playing down there tonight. I don't know who it was, but we did have our merch set up upstairs, which was actually much nicer than having to go into the basement to do merch and form a line. And I had a big challenge ahead because I was facing Juicy Finau. Now, you know about Juicy Finau?
You've told me.
Yeah. When Mance Warner turned on me about a year ago to this day, the same December LA show that would have been last year, because we're on a pretty scheduled schedule, I was in a tag match against Jacob Fatu, who is on WWE currently, and Juicy Finau with Mance Warner as my teammate. Juicy Finau destroyed me. The man is at the time was over 400 pounds. Now he's recently had a son. And let me tell you something. You'd think, oh, the Samoan guy's a little smaller because he lost weight is good. It's not. He moves with so much more intention now. He moves so much quicker now. There was a point where he just kept dropping headbutts on me. I don't know if you know about headbutting a Samoan. If you would have seen Hobbs and Shaw with me, the Rock and Jason Statham buddy movie based on frenemy movie based on Fast and Furious the series, you would have known they kind of bring this legendary professional wrestling thing into the world of Hobbs and Shaw, which is that a Samoan you can never headbutt, and a Samoan's head is the hardest thing in the earth. You will knock yourself out headbutting a Samoan, and when a Samoan who is that large is jumping down on you to headbutt you, you also have a risk of dying. And it was very painful, and it hurt very bad. And he also splashed me a lot, and threw me a lot, and slammed me on my head a lot. And I still won. Because I'm on a fucking streak, Peter. I'm on a streak. That's what it's about. I'm all the obstacles, all the dilly-dally, all the distraction, all the news articles. You remember when I made you Google my name?
Yes.
Yeah, that's all distraction. That's what I've been dealing with all week. And thank God, Alley Catch didn't make it to Arizona. She was not in Arizona. She was going to be in Los Angeles. I did my best to avoid her in that situation. Now, I got to say that Phoenix to LA, it's a bit of a drive. I was in the Mesa, Arizona area, which is right in Phoenix. It's beautiful. We finished the show. we drove part of the way, which is like we stopped in Indio where Coachella is, because there's a lot of hotels there. That place is desert, and then all of a sudden, just like a populace. You also passed the back of Joshua Tree on the way up, and I convinced Matt Justice not to camp in Joshua Tree in his car and to just take us to a hotel. Luckily, it honestly worked out for the better. And we did stay at a hotel that night and finish the drive. Now, some people are saying like, oh my gosh, Phoenix, LA, that's such a drive. I wouldn't have wanted to go to the airport anyway. We could fit 5 of us in a car and just go and get most of it done. Finish 2 hours in the morning. Way better than wake up at 5 to catch a 7 a.m. flight to get to LA at 10 for what? For fucking what? What am I going to do in LA at 10? Instead, we got there at like 3:30. Rolled into town, went to the venue, had some food, had a smoothie, chilled out, vibed out, was preparing for a match I would have normally been pretty familiar with, right? Like, I've wrestled Matt Cardona quite a bit. They even had a video package, GCW, about our rivaled history. It's so funny nowadays to be like, yes, my rivaled history was Zack Ryder. Like, I know you weren't there for it, Peter, but it's like, it's just a funny thing to live into. And it's what happens in wrestling. People move in and out, whatever. And I get into this match, Jimmy Lloyd, Broski Jimmy's out there, which my real end goal in this is to steal Broski Jimmy from Matt Cardona, and he'll realize that no belt can give him the love of his protege. So, I don't want to set my plans into motion that fast, but whatever. So we are pretty early on the card because Matt Cardona likes to take red-eye flights to get out of town. But in this case, he said he was taking a red-eye flight. Come to find out, he was just meeting Chelsea at Disney World so they could go to Disney World the next day early. She had just won the United States Women's Championship that night at the Saturday night's main event, pay-per-view event thing on Peacock NBC. And, he mentioned that in his promo that, he's half of the Women's United States Championship. Now, he is now saying this was a non-title match for that particular title, but I don't think you get to cut a promo about a title that you have or that you recently got and then have a match and lose. And all of a sudden I'm supposed to believe that title wasn't available or on the line. Okay. I beat you. I'm going to claim right now. And I know I'm jumping ahead to I beat you, but I'm going to claim right now I am half of the WWE Women's United States Championship. Not so that anybody can ever acknowledge it for real, but just so that like he gets itchy when I say it. Because he's already like kind of pushing it, I'm sure, with WWE doing all these promos that keeps mentioning their female stars in. So I'm going to go one further because I know my voice is clearly being heard. I am the half of the WWE Women's United States Champion. Thank you to Chelsea for allowing me to share this belt with you. And thank you for defending it because I will not be defending it. You will be defending it. I can't technically lose it, but I never lost it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, I'm getting ready for this match. LA, pretty vibrant audience. Now, there's a lot of shows going on in LA. We're still packed out. I feel good about it. In the ring, things are moving quickly. It's going. It's happening. And Cardona's doing his regular tricks. I've watched a Matt Cardona match in my life, okay? I know at some point he's going to probably try to pull some shenanigans. He's going to try to have Jimmy Lloyd slip on me. I beat the shit out of Jimmy Lloyd. He's going to try to, attack me with a weapon. All right. Our officials caught the weapon. Now some other things happen. Blah, 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 la, la, la. This and that and spick and spat. And all of a sudden, I am faced with Matt Cardona holding a championship belt like he's going to attack me. And there's a bit of camaraderie as I'm standing to my feet after he had punched me in the wiener. And I'm holding, the equipment and I'm in pain, deep pain. And all of a sudden someone steps up and in. They're wearing some kind of football jersey and a balaclava. And they hit Matt Cardona in the face with a baseball bat. Okay? To me, I think, black baseball bat, California, it's Sting, right? It's got to be Sting. I know he retired, but we met at that show in Indiana, and maybe my words inspired him to come back and help. Maybe Matt Cardona did something wrong. Maybe this doesn't even involve me. And, as I'm thinking that, I go, of course it It always involves me. And then I hit my original move, the sack rider. I hit that on Matt Cardona. It's not called Radio Silence, and he took it from me. I don't care. And 1, 2, 3, I win. But I've got this guy here.
Radio Silence is his name for it?
Yes. Because his theme song used to go, "Oh, radio, tell me everything you know." So then the Radio Silence is him turning that song off because he's indie now. It's all deliberate. And sometimes, like, yeah, he's the character from Shazam who was a boy who became a big muscly man. It's why he loves toys. It's why he has catchphrases. It's fine. It's all respect to you. Man, children are in right now. You have a hot wife. You have a smoking hot WWE diva wife. I can't say you're doing anything wrong, right? I can beat you though. And I roll back. I got this guy here. And I'm thinking, oh my God, it's Sting. And I stand up and I'm like, not as big as Sting. Maybe this isn't Sting. Maybe it's like fake Sting. There's a fake Sting. GCW actually booked him one time. He was Sting. He was a fake version of Sting, but on WCW. So maybe it's fake Sting. No. Girl, he takes his balaclava off and it's Chris Jericho. And here's where I'm going to tell you all of the tea. Here's the tea. There was zero conversation. There was zero contact. There was zero interaction. There was zero expectation between Effy and Chris Jericho. And after the match, Peter, and they're going to say, oh, he's making this up. He's working. This whole thing's been a work. Baby, if this whole thing's been a work, I've been getting just demolish worked, just pound town worked into the ditch. And maybe that's the way it goes. I have to be excluded for the work to work because I caused the work out of a shoot that you took as a shoot and then wanted to make a work, even though you still think it's a shoot because nobody will tell me whether it was a shoot. And then the office is now telling me everything's a work forever. And it's Chris Jericho and he leaves the building and we do not have any conversation. We have not since had any conversation. We did not at the time or before or in that day or in the coming weeks have that conversation. And I am going to leave the comments there. I have learned something. Nobody's business is my business, but my business. And I would, I've put out some pertinent information to people that need to hear it. And it is a little odd to see. And in that moment, when I realized I was standing across from the man known as Y2J, when I rose to my feet and said, I must become Y2Gay to defeat Y2J, all of a sudden, I was the Judas in my mind. Do you know about this? This is his theme song. He's becoming the Judas in his mind. So I was then assisted to win, and then Judas Effect by one Chris Jericho from the band Fozzy Bear. And then there was one part of conversation between me and Chris Jericho. I lied once again. Because as I'm laying on the ground suffering, and if you watch the video, somebody goes, oh, that elbow didn't look good. It didn't look good because it went into my face. We watched the slow-mo together. That bitch cracks my face. There's if you watch the angle I saw, that bitch cracks my face. The conversation we had is this man looking down at the ground and saying, get up, you dumb son of a bitch. To which I thought, I'm going to kill this motherfucker. I get up like I can swing. I think I'm knocked loopy. And the bat cracks me across the fucking side of the head. So, yeah, I got I was a little upset. I was belittled by Chris Jericho. I had people from another company invade my show without my permission. I know that Matt Cardona and Chris Jericho have some kind of television feud they're working through in the coming weeks. I don't give a shit. What I am dealing with now is the fact that I have to exist permanently in footage with Chris Jericho. I've done everything in my career to avoid ever having to stand across from, near, apart from, around, within the spectrum of, at the sound check of, at the pay-per-view with Chris Jericho. I have avoided it at every cost. I'm not saying I didn't have fandom of Chris Jericho when I was a child, when I was diminutively mind, small and lesser thinking. But now I have done everything to not be a part of that. Many of my colleagues, many of my friends, many of the people that I've come up with, they've had many significant moments with Chris Jericho, and that's fine. I don't give a shit. But I've done everything in my power to not have that be my fucking curse. And here's what I've got now. Here's what I figured out, okay? This was the devil taking a piece back to set things right, okay? I got in deep. I had targets on my back. I saw the lasers through the window, and I knew that this moment, as I saw the eyes of Chris Jericho in his high-heeled rock and roll diamond shoes and his AEW shirt, that this was affirmative payback to neutralize a situation. And now, as I lay on the ground after the Judas Effect and the bat to the face, still victorious over Cardona. And once again, like when Mance Warner won the belt, I'm sure Matt Cardona will now win the Ring of Honor belt from Chris Jericho because, well, as soon as I beat someone and show that it is clear in my power to be able to pin them, they win a big championship, and then I never have any further access to that championship being in my possession. Now, Mance, we've corrected that after a year. I don't really care about owning the Ring of Honor championship. I don't care about what the history of Ring of Honor. I don't care about any of it, and I mean that neutrally. I hope the show is great. I hope everyone has fun. I hope everyone wants to win the belt. I can only speak for Effy as a character, and Effy as a character has no need for that. I have one goal, and that is the GCW Heavyweight Championship. That is defeating Mance Warner in the Hammerstein Ballroom. And all of these distractions, bizarre as they may be, I cannot be surprised. I remember talking to you, and we've kind of harken back to this a little bit. And I think, we made predictions about the coming year in 2023. And there was mention when you had to me of sort of being able to celebrate the hard work and celebrate my legacy. And I think we misinterpreted slightly because my legacy this year has been people using my legacy to further themselves, to solidify to me in a way that only makes me sound like a fucking asshole if you pull little lines and little clips and little bits of what I'm saying. I am a part of professional wrestling history. You cannot say that pre-Effy and post-Effy professional wrestling are the same business. You cannot say that what I'm doing doesn't work when the top-level television World Hall of Famers from every company and every place are seeking me out to work with me. You cannot tell me that when companies have to have meetings about me and I've never worked there, been there, or stood in their doorway under management, that is something that's normal. None of it's normal. Effy's pro wrestling. I don't care. Argue with your fucking mother. Every time there's another news article, my little ranking on Cage Match goes down. I'm trying to get it to 0 because the more I go down on Cage Match, the more these fucking understood, I've never gotten worked, Effy really dug a hole this time, motherfuckers think they know what's going on, my rating goes down. So I'm guessing, much like that piece of shit racist Hulk Hogan, that if I can get my rating all the way down, I'll be rich as fuck and I'll have my own gym and I'll have a sauna in the basement and all the dogs will be in the yard with Leonardo and he won't be wearing a shirt. He's hired to be there and I don't want him in my bedroom. I just want to watch from a distance. I'm rich. Can I have another mango tapioca? And can I get some HGH from my good friend Sylvester Stallone? Tell me that I'm not the middle ground of wrestling right now. It's crazy. It fucking sucked for 3 weeks. It was terrible. So stupid. I'd wake up and I'd open my phone and you know what I'd say, Peter? So fucking stupid. And it is. And it always will be. And that's the path I've chosen. It's the career I've chosen. I wish you all the best of luck in dealing with me because there is nothing that will surprise me. There's nothing that will catch me off guard. There's not a person I won't put my lip up to. If you want to help me win my match, I'll still get up in your face like I have a problem, even if you're going to hit me back. Talk shit, get hit. That's the career of Effy. I talk the shit. It's correct. Someone's mad, get hit. I take the fucking hit to the face. My nose has been broken every which way. My face has been knocked up. My face has been swollen out. I can't believe I'm not 100 years old with the amount of abuse my face has taken from me running my mouth. And what have I done, Peter? Continued running my mouth. I've never stopped. I never will stop. And I'm happy to represent the Outlaws, but I'm also happy to know sometimes over here it gets a little strange because Not every week do you have the whole world listening into what we're doing. We have a very dedicated fan base. I think they're here through the whims and the sillies and the funs and the plays, but I think they're also here through the thick and thin. And the people that are coming in and just catching these points, and they'll never report this part, right? This isn't the part they want. This isn't the juicy part. I know now that whether you're listening now or not listening now, what I say has an impact economically on the business. And so I want there to be this thought. And I think back to New Year's, and I've talked about this on the show, because Allie Katz, before she turned her fucking back on me, before she's going to have to deal with me, I'm imagining pretty early in the night at Hammerstein, going to be feeling pretty froggy. She said, "You're being an egotistical maniac." And I said, "Allie, let me be clear. By the end of this calendar year, 2024, I want every decision in wrestling to have to go through the filter. What if Effy doesn't like this? What if this pisses Effy off? What if Effy makes a statement about the things we're doing and it doesn't clear the board?" And you're saying, "Oh, like you're some angel, like you're the decider." I didn't pick to be. I'm just loud as shit and I don't really put up with a lot. And like I've said, I will not work anywhere or for anyone that is not cooler than me. I've yet to meet any of you. Thank you. I will work under my own direction. I will work under my own choice. And you will continue to discuss me from afar. I will continue to be a threat to your business model from afar. And I will continue to brush my hair in the wind and wait for the next has-been to walk up. Because as soon as you touch the pinata with a stick, gold falls out, and they've all got a group chat and they all know where I am. And so now at Hammerstein, I can cement the fact with the belt that not only am I a representative for the independent wrestling world, a representative for Game Changer Wrestling, a representative for what pro wrestling was, I thought, which is outlaws not giving a shit about authority. God, if that Stone Cold could just listen to his boss, we wouldn't have so many problems. Can you imagine? Can you fucking imagine if he wasn't flicking off Vince McMahon? If he was saying, well, you are my boss, though. I better go take a little break. This is what wrestling's always been about, is saying, fuck you, here's why. And if you want to do something about it, I'll be in the ring. That's what it is. So tell me I'm not. Tell me I'm not doing that. Tell me I'm not on the cutting edge of conversation of where the business goes. Thank God. Thank you to the QWI released this week. I was number 3 on the list. Dark Sheik, number 1. Incredible, deserved. I can't think of anyone better. Timeless Tony Storm, number 2. And they just did a bit with her doing that. I don't need to be number 1 on anything because what I am is acknowledged all the time. Guys, they mentioned me 67 times in the QWI. If you search my name, it comes up 67 times. Please don't let me win that, because then it just seems like I paid everybody off. But the fact is, not only am I loud and aggressive and reported on and called by every WWE reporter and informant to get the scoop, not only am I followed by every person in wrestling, not only am I known in the rooms by all the superstars and the has-beens and the up-and-comers and the who's whats, not only are you walking into every space, whether you talk shit about me or not, and coming up and shaking my hand and saying, I respect what you do, but I'm also platforming all the children. And I'll do it again in Las Vegas in front of 2,500 people in the Palms Casino in one of the biggest theatrical gay wrestling productions of all time, because that's what Effy does. I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to do, Peter. That's all I know how to do, is continue spewing what I think is coming from my mind and working very hard and going, you can have some pie too. You want some pecan pie? There's a metaphor for you. Let's live in metaphors. I have plenty of pecan pie. I'm making lunch for everyone. I'm sharing the wealth because I want to, because I love it. And it's beautiful to know that as I share and give so much of myself, the side comments you catch from me about things that I don't like and the place that I give so much to are so fucking dramatic and so upending and so crazy. Imagine thinking Effy was worried about any of you, when all y'all think about is Effy. If there's one thing I don't need to look at ever again in my life that I understand completely, that I know that I'm satisfied by, that I've achieved everything with, it is Effy, right? I've never had a more successful endeavor. I've played in bands. I've done things. I've done this. I've done that. I've been whatever. I've done it all. If I walked away tomorrow, if I woke up and my legs weren't there and I could never do it again and they bound me shut and I couldn't open the door to the room, or I was a bug like it was Kafka, right? I'd be cool. It's fine. There's not much I haven't seen or done.
Cranberry would help you put your wheelchair legs on. Like,
Yes, she would. She's perfect. That's the thing. I'm very satisfied in my life. I don't like having this extra stress, but I expect it with the territory, and none of it fucking phases me. I did 4 interviews. Yeah, I told you I'm waking up and I'm going, oh, this is so stupid. But it's not like I was waking up and like kind of unable to live. Like you have moments where you go, it's very annoying that every time I open social media, everybody's got something to say. On the other hand, can you imagine going, let me poke the bubble, I'm on acid, what's real? And then all of a sudden being just the fucking king of poking bubbles. I couldn't ask for a better fucking day. What a life. Thank you for all signing up for the Effy show. He performs every weekend constantly, and there's no way you can miss him if you want to. Welcome to the future of wrestling. I'm a journeyman. And good on you, Chris Jericho. It's financially smart to continue getting buzz from Effy. 3 years ago, when I was fighting Jeff Jarrett, I said in an interview, because I was running my mouth, if you can imagine it, that Chris Jericho and Jeff Jarrett were clout vampires, that what they would do is attach themselves to anything hot and up and coming to get the clout. And then Jericho wore my jacket on TV only a week after I gave that interview and said, thanks for the clout rub, kid. And I just want to say, like, I don't even care. And I didn't even come after you again. I'm pointing something out to me that made sense. He's a cloud vampire. Here's the reasons I'm presenting in my thesis. I don't think I was yelling, but people want to take, when you present opinionated facts, they want to think you're emotionally involved. Nothing happened for 3 years, and then you came after me. And now 3 years later, Hammerstein again. What has changed, darling? What has changed? Chris Jericho is not continuing a feud with Effy. That's what's changed. I'm not goaded in. You can punch me in the face. You can hit me with a guitar. And I'm not automatically going to be like, I need a big match with this person. No. My sights are still on Mance Warner. Imagine showing up and hitting me in the face twice, once with a weapon. And I go, I really don't care. I don't care what happens. Glad you had your moment with Effy. What a beautiful thing to be a part of. Please move on. Can you imagine? Now, I will say that match he had at WrestleMania, Seattle, Safeco Field, Shawn Michaels, Chris Jericho, one of my favorite WrestleMania matches of all time. And I also want to say, LOL, Zack Ryder and Chris Jericho segment with Effy at the UCC. Come on. This is absurdism to the maximum degree. Am I not going to wake up in the Rick and Morty coma game where I've lived the life? It's so stupid. It's like, it's almost so stupid. And then bringing up those retrograde dates, and I just went, this is the dumbest shit of all time. This is so fucking stupid and predictable and dumb. And you know what? Merry fucking Christmas. Because here we are. I have a week off. I have all the dogs here. We're going to watch movies. We're going to eat cakes and pies and desserts. We're going to see the world. And we're going to have no concerns about what the fuck Chris Jericho's doing. I have let it go. It is out of my mind. How about that, Peter?
Beautiful.
It was a diatribe, but it's true. That's the real story. I didn't set this up. We didn't meet about this. I don't know about anything. I don't know who else was communicating. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. At the end of the day, I got done with the match. He was already gone, and I went, all right, well, I'm going to go hang out with people and not be a part of this. Yep. Cool. Great. What a time we've had. You know? Imagine that causing that little of an effect. Imagine mugging someone and like you got your gun out and a knife and I just start laughing at you. Look what y'all have created. This is a year ago. Mance Warner broke my nose after hitting me with a chair with a knee to the face. And since then, I think I've wrestled him 7 times. Since then, my best friend has turned on me. Alley catch, there's no more bussy. Since then, Mance Warner has won the championship, even after I beat him in a Cage of Survival match, cementing me as the top winner of the feud that we had thus far. And in this year, I was attacked by former Hollywood stars like Raj Desi, like JBL, like Bully Ray Dudley. I was also put out to a bunch of people in a mall where I could have won a championship, but Alley Catch was too afraid of me having the belt because she knows she cannot beat me, that she had to ruin the chance. And now I am here dealing with Chris Jericho in my continuing feud with Matt Cardona, and I'm going, Y'all think you can surprise me. What a fucking year. And to all the people that reach out to me, I'm sorry I don't respond to things when you're telling me how cool it is that JBL's there, how cool it is that Bully Ray's there, how cool it is to fight Jinder Mahal and the Bollywood Boys, how cool it is to be in the same segment as Jericho, gay. But guess what, y'all? I'm not responding to any of that shit. I do not care. I have never cared. I am the cultural impact. Y'all are not a part of my story. I'm a part of your story. And that's how it goes. You're going to tell people how you knew me. It's like Elvis in that Kings of Tupelo video where the woman said, Elvis kissed me on the forehead and asked for my number. And that was how she defined her life. Write about it in your next book, you son of a bitch. Write about it in your next Fozzy song. This is about my arch enemy. And I'll never know it was about me because I'll never listen or care or give any emotional thought to having it brought into my face or to my attention. Okay? Am I crazy, Peter? Or am I fucking figuring it out finally?
I think you're figuring it out.
I've been stepped on and used up and beat down. And this fucking pinata is empty and I'm closing it off. The pinata's putting armor on. And I'm not letting any of y'all fucking swing a stick at me anymore. I'm not letting y'all suck out the Smarties and the sweet tarts and all the little cinnamon discs and butterscotches out of my fucking belly. You get no more. You get no more of this gold. I get the belly gold now. It's mine. And I'll hit myself with a stick, even though I don't have to, because I know how to open my little port door and eat the gold that I'm making for myself. Y'all don't get any more of it. Y'all don't get any more of it. I feel like a psycho over here right now, Peter. How are we feeling?
I love it.
You want more of this? You want more of me just going off? Well, you can sign up for the Patreon. Weekendateffys.com, patreon.com/weekendateffys. Use the code BOB50. New subscribers, you can get the first half off your first month. BOB50. Or jump in for a full year. Trust that I will stay alive. I will do everything in my power. You'll hear the first scoops. You'll get merch discounts. You'll get pet information. You'll get sometimes vlogs if I don't forget to do it. I forgot to do it a lot of times, and it's fine. You'll get a lot of cool updates from Peter, a lot of magic, a lot of behind the scenes. And you can use CRAN20 to get in there for a whole year. Help support public radio. You know, we need another caller for the pledge drive. We're not going to give you a tote bag or a mug, but we are going to pretend... we are going to pretend to be, what's her name? Terry Gross?
Terry Gross?
Yeah, I want to pretend to be Terry Gross.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Terry Gross. Today, we're bringing you Weekend at Effy's, a Patreon, and their story is not different than a lot of other stories, where you can donate $5 to weekendateffys.com, and then you can send me $40 million. I'm Terry Gross. I didn't do a voice for her. I just did. It was just me saying I'm Terry Gross. Is that weird?
No.
I like where my voice is at this week because I was like sick kind of last week and then I like yelled all weekend and got beat up and now my voice is like, do you think I went too far on this episode?
No,
you think I
got
too out of control?
Post all of these clips to everywhere.
Oh my God. Yes, you should. Let's build up this fucking Instagram. Follow us on Instagram, Weekend at Effy's. We're ready. This is the rebirth. This is the rethroat. And one thing I want you to know, all right, if you're out there, let's say you're really rich. Let's say you own your own companies. Let's say you have everything. When you're mad at Effy, just know I'm sitting in my little room streaming with my full-size bed and a fucking suitcase of merch and a dog that wants to go outside. That's who you're mad at. That's who you're mad at. I rent a home. And I need a podcast co-host to even rent the whole home. So just fucking sit in that. That's who you're being mean to, okay? To anybody out there, that's who you're being mean to. And to that I say, fucking bring it. Be mean.